Hello, welcome Janae and Stephanie, and thank you so much for joining me today. So we do have our monthly series where we talk about real stories, real bodies, and real healing. My name is Madeline, and I'm the host of this series. And I've started this because I really wanted to inspire people who are going through different health issues and have been diagnosed with chronic diseases. Today's conversation is for anyone who's ever thought, I've tried everything and I'm still tired, inflamed, foggy, or stuck. January is also often arriving with pressure, new goals, new expectations, and for many people, the same old exhaustion. So our guest experts are, not just experts by training, but also by experience. So they've lived inside a chronic challenge and found their way out. So not through shortcuts, not through hustle, but through listening, experimenting, and rebuilding from the inside out. So if you're walking along the road with your health, this episode is going to be here to remind you that your body is not broken, it's communicating. So I wanted to welcome our guests today, Janae and Stephanie. Okay.
Hello.
Thank you so
Welcome.
much for having us.
Of course, yeah. So they've walked through chronic emotional and physical challenges and found grounded, sustainable ways forward. So this conversation is for anyone who's functioning on the outside but fraying on the inside. So you're not weak, you're not broken, you're responding. Yep, we've all been through the same experiences. But Janae, I'd love to start with your story. And can you
Sure.
take us back to the season when anxiety, burnout, or emotional drain was at its peak for you? And what was life asking of you then? What was your story, how you started in this journey?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been a nurse for 20 years and I've done everything from director of nursing of a nursing home to emergency medicine to hospice care. I really saw the overall world of it all. But during COVID, it wasn't a matter, I was working in the ER and it wasn't a matter of if I was going to get COVID, it was going to be a matter of when. And I had the mindset that I'm healthy, I run marathons, I do CrossFit, like I'm fit. It will knock me down for a couple weeks, but then I'll be fine. Well, I did end up getting it, and it didn't knock me down for a couple weeks. It knocked me down for 8 months. I ended up getting chronic nerve, joint, heart, and lung damage. And it really threw me into an emotional wreck because I couldn't even go across the kitchen to the other side of my room without passing out because I also got POTS on top of it. I was also a single mom, so I was kind of desperate as how am I going to support my family now when I can't even breathe? And I was getting put on, I think up to the time I got up to 15 medications that the traditional healthcare hospital put me on, and I gained 50 pounds. I was getting sicker. I wasn't getting better. And I actually turned to Stephanie. Stephanie has been doing holistic care herself probably since 2007. And I finally was like, girl, we need to get me off of this. And so we basically doing healthy living tricks and kind of at finding our way, which we now call the Meraki way. I healed myself. We did a lot of now we blend somatic work, nervous system work, reframing, trauma reframing. I found out there was a lot of trauma involved of why I was staying sick. Once we've done that, and I've actually learned how I interact with the world, I'm completely healthy. I have one medication I still have to take, but that's because it's a blood thinner and I have a blood disease. So I have to take it. But the other stuff, I had a doctor telling me I was never going to run again, and I ran a marathon in May. So we really believe in the method that we tried upon ourselves, and now that we've given it to other people, that it really does actually finally turn people who are stuck in these chronic conditions around.
Wow, thank you for sharing it. That is awesome. From 20 medications to one medications, that probably took a lot of
It
effort.
saved a lot of money, I'll tell you that.
Yes, exactly. And this is exactly what people are going through. They spend so much money, but the only difference is they're not getting healthy. So we'd
Right. They're
love
getting
to,
sicker.
exactly, they just get sicker and their medications just pile up. The
Mhm.
medical bills just keeps piling up. So we'd love to learn how you got to that position. So if you would like to share your story as well, Stephanie, let's bring you in and can you
Definitely.
share your personal journey with mental wellness and chronic challenges that look like that. and how you got partnered up with Janae.
Absolutely. So, I also have been a registered nurse for 15 years. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease and I was doing all the things. I was doing all the infusions, I was doing injections, and I kept having reactions. Like every medication I would try, I'd break out in a full body rash, or I would develop antibodies to it, or it just wasn't working. And so I really started to look into like the more holistic. What can I do with my diet? What can I do with my stress? What can I do in my environment to make this better? And so I really took a deep dive into the holistic and functional medicine, and really started to fix myself. I was watching my diet, I was eating healthy, I wasn't eating processed foods, and all of my symptoms went away. I haven't been on any medications in at least 10 years. My Crohn's is managed with my diet alone. I've worked a lot on my mental health. You know, Crohn's is what I would consider an invisible illness. There's nothing that you physically looks wrong with you. And that's part of the mental challenge with some of these chronic illnesses is because you look great on the outside, but on the inside, you're really not feeling well. And it doesn't present itself in a physical manner. And that was really frustrating for me too, because everybody'd be like, well, you look fine. And I'm like, but I don't feel fine. You know, I don't feel good. I don't feel like myself. Can't work. I was in the same situation, so fatigued that I couldn't get out of bed. In the bathroom all the time. Like I had to take time off of work and lose money. And, the infusions were expensive. I had tons of medical bills. That stuff is not cheap. And it took me a long time to pay off all of that debt. And so I'm just really in a much better place now with my health through things like functional testing, working with my nervous system, getting rid of my trauma responses, working on myself. And that's really how I kind of dug myself out of this. And Janae and I actually got together when we were working together as nurses. We worked in the same hospital, in the same department, and we really connected on that level. And that's how we really became friends and then started working together and then changed both of our healths with the Meraki way. So it's been an amazing journey.
Wow, that is awesome. So the two of you were working in the same place, and that's how you connected
It
with
is.
that is
Kind of. Fun fact, we actually found out while we were working in that department together that when we were kids, we figure skated together.
oh,
So we did the same
nice.
figure skating lesson. So it's kind of like it was meant to be. And like we
Yeah.
connected. And we were also like the oddballs on the unit because we would be talking, going like, why are you making people sicker? Because we really felt the therapies and the medicines we were giving our patients was not working, or they were having horrible side effects that they were getting sicker. So we would be in like the corner as the weird ones talking about like, no, let's do turmeric, let's do like some essential oils. Like we were getting our toes dipped in, but then once we fully went in and realized how much it changed our life, then we really put the science together and the methodology together and created what we've created.
That is wonderful. So the both of you were really destined to work together, and it sounds like you have the same values. It's rare that I hear about nurses talking about turmeric. They're usually just talking about medications and all the dosages, all of that, and the results, which is also has its place and
Absolutely.
in medicine. Yep. And for those who are having challenges right now, they're in the midst of this journey, and the way that they're coping is not sustainable. What do you think would help spark their decision to create a different way of healing so that they can get out of that?
Well, first, there is a quiz that we developed that will actually put you in 4 different categories of what is really going on with your nervous system. We really focus on the nervous system and then supporting that through holistic practices as well as functional practices. But according to the quiz that we put, we either figure out if you're in burnout, if you're in survival, if you're in anxiety, or if you are just completely redlined about to have like your whole system shut down. Because that's first what we need to figure out. What kind of stress level are you living at? Because stress from burnout is going to be treated completely different as stress from anxiety. They're different pathways. And so we do have that quiz first, and that's usually kind of our onboarding. But then after that, we really figure out talking to our patients where they're most impacted. Is it with relationships? Is it with foods? Is it with energy? And then really mold it around them. And that's where we got also frustrated with how things are done traditionally. Even sometimes we see this on the functional side where everyone is just treated still the same. There is not going to be a one shoe treatment fits all. There's suggestions, and the biggest suggestion first is I would say, like, I do a dopamine map. Like, where are you getting your joy? Where are you getting your stresses? And like, put it on a scale and see that sometimes just putting it all on paper, you can see maybe it's just eliminating 4 or 5 things might actually do the trick, or there might be some a lot more complex problems that we have to get into. Because once you start that stress cycle and the nervous system cycle, then it goes into your metabolism, then it goes into your cellular structure, then it goes into inflammation. Then inflammation causes disease, then disease causes cancer. And it's just this huge snowball that we really work on that connection where we work on the heart brain coherence to make sure the body and the mind are on the same page. And that's very different for everybody. There really isn't a one shoe fits all. And that is one thing that we really do want to get across to people, because also in the holistic space, you have people who will, I have a client like this, she's on 55 supplements because
Wow.
she sees an ad. Oh, this is going to make me better. Oh, this one's going to make me better. Okay, well now let's talk about the chemical reaction you're just caused in your body. You put 55 supplements in there. Like,
Yeah.
now why do you feel icky? So it's really a lot of education is what we provide, but then a lot of deep dive into what's going on with our clients on their actual life.
That is really wonderful that you have like this assessment. So did you create your own assessment, the two of you, on that?
Yeah.
Okay, we would love to hear more about that. And I did hear you say about the Meraki way. So is this one of those strategies or techniques that you use with your patients after the assessment? So tell us a little bit more about the solutions that you found and what you're teaching with your clients and patients.
Stephanie, I'll let you do this one.
Yeah, so absolutely. So, from my point, from the functional side, we really look at your biochemistry. How are you creating neurotransmitters? Neurotransmitters are created in your gut. And if your gut isn't healthy, you're not able to create dopamine. You're not able to create serotonin. You're not able to create these neurotransmitters that do bring you joy, that do, affect your mental health. So that's really kind of the first step for me on my side is assessing what's going on with your biochemistry, what's going on with your hormones, what's going on with your liver. How is your liver processing these 55 supplements? Because it's probably really backed up, and if you're not converting and you're not removing, toxins and waste from your body properly, all of those things impact everything at a cellular level. And when we're talking about the gut brain connection, which is really, the basis of your nervous system, your gut and your brain are talking all the time. That's how you know you're hungry, is because your gut is telling your brain is telling your gut it's time to eat. So go get something to eat. And what you're eating matters. If you're eating processed foods, you're really, not doing your intestines and your intestinal lining any good. And then you're not able to create any of these neurotransmitters. We actually have some testing that looks at your neurotransmitter pathways. It's called a neurotransmitter zoomer. And we can actually look and see what these levels are doing and what's going on in your body so that we can affect your biochemistry as well as your mental health.
That is great. I am curious about these strategies that you're using. Is it something that we need to be like in person, or can you help people
No.
online?
This is all virtual. All of the testing is done from home. There are a couple of tests that do require a lab draw, so you do have to go out and have that done, but most of them are just at home. Blood spot testing, urine testing. So it's very simple, and we do work remotely, and our business is telehealth. We don't have to see you in person. This is all something that can be done through a screen if needed.
Wonderful.
And the
Because
technique, yeah, and the techniques that I use on the mind and the nervous system are actually just me talking to you, but you do it yourself. So there's nothing that I have to physically touch or physically do. Now, if people do want to see me in person, I do use energy work. But what we have found is, and if you know how frequencies and vibrations actually work. You do not need to be in the same exact room. Quantum entanglement, all that stuff has proven that I don't need to be in the same room with you. So we really want to spread this nationwide and work with people nationwide, even though we will accept people locally. We're not confined to locally because what we do is very transparently able to be done through telehealth. And we do use a HIPAA compliant telehealth platform that is great and records everything and one-stop shop. Everything is right there.
Yes, that's exactly. I'm pretty sure what we're all wondering about because if that's the limitations if you're only offering it in person. And I know a lot of people have chronic health issues. They have difficulty with commute, they have to
Yeah.
have people drive them. That's one of the challenges that I hear from them. So the virtual offers that you have is probably going to be super important. And do you only do like US or also other countries like
All of the
All over the world.
testing can be done worldwide. So I'm trained in functional diagnostic nutrition. I'm working on getting certified in that. And there is functional diagnostic nutrition practitioners all throughout the world. So it can be done in any country and we can help figure that out. It's not a problem.
This is amazing. Yes, because I've heard about the diagnostic, but mostly here in US because it's hard to find a location in other countries. But I'm glad that you have those connections. And I did want to, ask if you have any offers or if you have any support beyond this conversation that you'd like to share with our audience here and who it's
Yeah.
best for.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first, I'm going to go ahead and provide you with that quiz. Once we provide you with that quiz, it really helps people get onboarded and figure out like what's really do they even have an issue? Sometimes
And
people think they have an issue, and then when they take the quiz, it's kind of like, don't. Like you're just normal stressed out person. Like we're supposed to have stress. First of all, I don't want people to think we're supposed to live happy, joyful lives all the time. We're not. That's not reality. Reality is actually stressful events are there for a purpose because it builds your confidence because you overcome it. So welcome stress. Like it's a good thing. It's just when it becomes one after another and after another, it becomes detrimental. The other thing that we wanted to offer for your clients that we didn't talk about is one of our signature items that we do at the end of working with us. Because our goal is that we only want to work with our clients for 3 months. And then we've given them all the tools where they can go ahead and handle all of it, hopefully themselves. And they'll just need like a couple little quick trips, like checkups, maybe retest every now and then to see if something's off. But like, we really want to like let them graduate, and that's what we call it. We call it graduate. So our free offer is at the end of our graduation. I actually do a human design reading. I don't know if you heard of human design, but human design combines 4 astrological charts where someone really then understands how they are designed. Like, why do you explain things the way you do? Why does certain things trigger you? How are you actually supposed to make decisions according to your body? Some people get a gut feeling and that's what they're supposed to act on. Some don't. Some actually have to ride an emotional wave to make the decision. Like, and some, they're so intuitive, but it has to come real quick. And if they missed it, it will never come back. But once you know how you tick in the world, it relieves so much stress, so much anxiety. I have almost every client said you did 30 years of therapy once they see their human design chart because they now finally are like, I'm not weird. Like, now I know how I'm supposed to interact with people. Now I know, like with me, I'm supposed to tell people what I'm doing because I move so fast. It's probably why I was divorced 3 times because I didn't tell the ex that I was going off and doing this and doing this and doing this, and they thought I was running the world. And it's like if I would have just taken the time to be like, no, I'm a type of person that I just have to tell them what I'm doing, then it's gonna be great. And relationship now, I tell him all the time what I'm doing, a little too much now, and he was like, just be you. And you find that. And so that we're offering it for free. It's actually for $250 value is what we charge people, but I'm going to give it to free for your audience. There'll be a link where they can go ahead and also book that as well. So it's really fun. It's really exciting. And it also comes with a 68-page book of your reading. Like, so if you can't remember everything I said, you get a personal book for you that's published so you can always refer back to it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that and for offering that with our audience today. I mean, I personally am interested because it sounds like this human design reading that you have is not just for healing, just the physical health, but relationships and other areas of life.
Business uses it because it will tell you how you're really supposed to make decisions, when you're supposed to act, when you're supposed to kind of wait back and see. It's great for business, it's great for relationships, it's great for health. Because when you learn what you need to do to refill your cup, because I will tell you, hey, this is what you need to do to refill your cup. Like the details in it are insane.
It's
I wish
very,
everyone could
very
have it.
detailed. I know, I do too. It's such an
And I still
amazing
like
tool.
read back on mine. Like I'll be like, oh, and you like every time I open mine back up, I'm like, oh, there's something I completely missed because it's that detailed.
That is like crazy interesting. I want to have a human design reading too, and I'm pretty
Yes,
sure a lot of people would be interested in this, not just for their health, but maybe for career or business.
absolutely.
Depends
Yeah.
on what they're wanted to work on. And with regards to your work, do you have anything you'd like to share aside from the assessment? Your website, is that something that you can share with the group afterwards?
Oh,
Absolutely. Our website is merakifunctionalreset.com. You can go there anytime, look around, see what we're about, and you can book a consultation. Our consultations are free. If you feel like this is something that you want to explore, we'd be happy to talk with you anytime and figure out if this is the right between us.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Janae and Stephanie. And I do want to take a moment to name something powerful that showed up in both of your stories. Healing doesn't really just happen by doing more. It happened by listening differently, which
very
in
much so.
your case, emotionally, mentally, and then listening to the body. And it sounds like the spiritual as
Oh
well,
yeah,
listening to that. So mental wellness is not separate from the body and it's woven through the breath, rest, nutrition, boundaries, safety, and self-compassion, which I think it's part of your program, the Meraki.
very much.
All right.
Yes.
And thank you again, Janae and Stephanie, for your honesty, wisdom, and leadership. And of course, for being here with me today. This is like the first series for this year. And to everyone listening, if this resonated, share it with someone who's been carrying too much for too long. We hope to see you again for next month in February. And is there any last words you'd like to share, Janae or Stephanie?
I would just like to say congratulations on starting this. It's really going to be amazing for you and everyone that is in your circle. And I just want to say I'm super proud of you for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Okay, and I'll be closing this down and thank you again so much. Okay.